They said they can hear you in the chat.
Well, I
So do
am
me a
back.
favor, let me know in the chat if you guys can hear Leo. Leo, say you got to talk so they can hear you.
Oh.
Come on.
All right, y'all. Let me know if y'all can hear me, but I ain't
Mhm. You want to be an auntie so bad, friend. I
Now,
know.
you know what, baby? I don't care what
It's
y'all say.
okay.
I do
Thank God
not
you're
care what
pretty.
you all say. Auntie season is lit. Okay, y'all listen. Y'all trying to not be aunties around here. I don't care what y'all say.
No,
I love it.
I know, friend. Just all I can say is thank God you're pretty. Because your technical thumb right now is acting like mine. All right, Leah. Vera said you're back. Um, I think we're both in frame. I'm gonna put my computer down a little bit so not to block this beat I have going on.
Yeah, your computer is over your face, and I am like directly in the camera on the computer, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I think everything is
All right. I
looking
think we're
right.
so good. Thank you so much, Vera. So yeah,
Yes,
I think
thank
we're good,
you.
guys. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday, Leo. My Lily is here with me.
Hi, everybody.
How you feeling, friend?
I am feeling okay. So I had the flu last week,
Mm-hmm.
and restarted a second round of treatment. So it was a difficult week. I'm not gonna lie. It was a hard week, but I'm shaking it off.
Yeah.
Moldy, Tiana. I'm shaking it off and trying to get back to feeling like myself again. So, we as Black women, we know how to put on a mask and figure it out, and
Yeah.
that's what I am doing. So I'm feeling good today, though. I had a good church service, and
Hmm.
it was all is well, all is well. How about you?
I'm feeling amazing. I had a really good weekend. Yesterday I did, if you guys don't know, I do my diva dinner dates, which is why I have local women here. I'm in West Palm Beach, Florida. So local women, I let them know that I'm having, going to have dinner at a restaurant. I put it out there for whoever wants to join me. And we had 10 ladies join me yesterday for
Oh,
dinner.
wow.
And it was at a restaurant, Tacos del Cartel. Don't ask me why that name is what it is. It is an
Mm-hmm.
authentic Mexican restaurant. It is the venue is absolutely gorgeous. Such a vibe. The food was great. I'm not a big drinker. The drink I had was delicious. Like I've never had a drink like it. It was so, I don't even know the words. It was,
What
y'all know
was
I'm a foodie.
what now? What you was out there doing with the drink now? What?
Well, it was a fruity drink, but
I
it
love it.
was it was weird because it was fruity, but it was very spicy. Like it had cardamom in it and guava, and you could smell it. Like it was just a whole. Uh, y'all know I'm all about sensuality and senses and anything that like is an experience for me. And so that really was a great experience for me for that drink. It's in my stories. It'll probably expire today because I did post it last night. But if you check out my stories on Facebook and Instagram, you will see highlights of it. And of course, I'm going to make a video. But it was really a great place. So if you guys are looking for a place to dine, you definitely need to check them out. They celebrate your birthdays like none other. It's a whole vibe, like such a
Oh,
great experience. And yeah, so that was really, really good. Super excited about that. So
well,
I'm excited to do another one. So yeah.
I love that. I know I was texting you some
Yes, we're not
foolishness
gonna tell them what you
yesterday.
said.
Well, I didn't know what was going on. I had a little
Yeah,
brain fog, so I didn't
we're
know
not
you was
we're not
there.
gonna tell the people what you texted me at my diva dinner date. We'll leave that alone. That's for Yolante and Leo after dark. So,
Well, listen.
oh, hey Moni. Moni said we look pretty. We look beautiful. Thank you so much, baby
Oh, thank
girl.
you. I'm glad you are on time today so that Miles does not have to get you together, as my
Yes.
nephew always will. by his Auntie Leo. So,
I love it. I love it.
so
So yeah,
before we get
I guess
started,
we're gonna get right into it, friend. Are we sharing a fragrance for the people?
sure. So I think let's do two things. The way that we usually get started is we will tell everybody, kind of what our glow up essential was for the week, and then go through, a fragrance that we either introduced into our fragrance tray for the week, or brought back in. And so, yeah, go ahead. What did you have? What was your smell good for this week?
So my smell good for the week. Well, I'll really say just for the day because y'all know I'm very sweet and I don't want to say predictable, but it's not. It's nothing necessary to write home to mom about when I'm at school at work with the kiddies. But last night I went back to something I haven't worn in a while. And so this is YSL's. You guys probably have seen it, Yves Saint Laurent's um, Libre Intense. And it was
Very
really, really
popular.
yummy. It was really, really good. We're getting ready to move into the fall, so it was really appropriate. Now, I am not a person who wears my fragrances based on the season. I wear it based on my mood. And so because we were going out and I wanted to feel sexy and, sweet at the same time, I felt like this was a perfect choice and I loved it. I'm so glad I went back to it. I definitely don't wear this in the daytime. It's a delicious scent to wear at night. So YSL Libre, and this is the intense version. So that is my smell good for today. What about you, friend?
I was in this very tropical mood all week.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because it rained a lot. So the fact that I was, wanting to smell tropical, and I guess I wanted to counter what was going on outside. And
Yeah,
so I went back and forth between two fragrances. This is Pas Ce Soir by BDK, which is
yeah,
this juicy, fruity. And here's the thing, I'm really not a fruity girl, but if I do fruits, it has to be complex. Fruity fragrances can, in my opinion, run a little juvenile. And
yeah.
so this fragrance has a lot of notes in it, including a lot of spices. And so while it's fruity, it is also really sexy. And
Mhm.
then this is, and you all have heard us talk about this before, mango skin. So this has mango in it. This is more pineapple, and but both of these have an element of spice in it. Neither
Yeah.
one of these have oud in it, which that's my favorite, but they have, I think this one has a little bit of patchouli in it, some cardamom. So it spices it up. It takes you through a journey. I don't like anything that's very linear, anything that's one note. Again, that leans a little juvenile to me. So these are fruity, but they're complex fruity fragrances. And so I was just kind of in that little mood, spicy, fruity, tropical mood this week.
Well, I don't know if that's what's going on because right now, honey, you are definitely looking like you came off a whole vacation, friend.
Oh,
Like when I say it's giving super glowy, like it's blinding in how gorgeous you look. Like you look
oh wow, thank
really
you,
good.
friend.
Like
Thank
really,
you.
really freaking good. Like I'm
Thank
feeling like I need to put some glow on my face and stop playing, girl. Look, let me look now, because I can't be in
And give
town
it
to
to the
mine.
people. Give it to the people, because you know what? They need to know when you want to take it off, take it up a level.
Shoot,
Friend, tell them what you just put on, because I have that. I
shoot.
have that as well. That
This is
thing.
so. This is first of all, I really need to stop tripping. This is not even adding like a big glow to my face. This is the one size powder melt. It has a little glycerin in it, so it gives you a little bit of sheen. But honey, it's nothing. It's nothing to write home about. If I really want to glow, if I'm being honest, then let me find it. Then I'll put my glow on with a powder.
Yeah.
Um, I don't really want to show this to y'all because it's kind of broken up, but I'll
Oh,
swatch it
just
onto my hand.
yeah.
Any type of powder. I don't even know if y'all can even see that. I don't know if what
Oh
I'm doing is.
yes, I can see it.
I don't know if you can see the glow.
I
Um,
can see it a little bit.
but yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, I can see it a little bit.
Yeah. Or here's something that I'll share with you guys. I had this on yesterday too. This you can get on Amazon. This is from Eva NYC. It's a silver hair and body glitter spray. First of all, y'all, I don't want y'all to think we're here like pushing products because that's not what we're doing. But y'all know when Leo and I talk about beauty and skin and all the things, we have to share with you all.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we're
um,
not gatekeepers, so
yeah, we're not
definitely
gatekeepers.
y'all got to know that how we flow over here in these
Yeah, honey.
parts.
We like to be pretty and shiny and all the things. And so this is a spray. Um, Child, let me stop playing with y'all. I'm gonna spray on camera. Hopefully, let me see if y'all can see. Because I was doing the most on my dividend date. Whew. But it
Come,
adds a
come,
little bit of.
come,
Can
Mister.
y'all see?
Look at me, look, move it over like this is gonna help. Yes, I can see a little bit.
See, you can
Yes,
see it. You
yes,
can see a
yes,
little.
yes, yes, yes,
So,
yes.
girl, this was like when I was in college and we used to be in the
Yes, I
club,
can see
honey, at
that
the
shimmer.
Moon. Yes, y'all see that? Don't play with me.
You
So
know what
this is
that?
it's it. I play too much, but this is like really really fun when I'm like out and I want to give summertime vibes. So this I will put in my Amazon store while we're chatting tonight, and then you guys can go take a look at it. Super inexpensive. Child, it's probably like less than $10. And honey, I was just catching the
Yeah,
light at dinner last
that's
night, girl.
almost like stripper glitter. Let me find
It
out.
is. It's like stripper glitter.
Let me find out. Listen, I know what stripper glitter look like. I'm
It's
50
stripper
years
glitter.
old. I've been around the block of three. So listen, I know exactly what that is.
Listen, baby, I don't judge anybody. I like all the secrets, honey. Girl, Shannon is so funny. She talking about, and listen, she said you got me sniffing my screen. Girl, first of all, they kept, so I saw it on TikTok. I was completely influenced and bought it. Because a drag queen was talking about it, so I was like, oh, this must be good. Child, they talking about it has a vanilla scent. I'm telling you right now, it smells like hairspray. So when you spray it, you are gonna choke. So it doesn't smell bad, but it's definitely gonna like, whew, girl. Let me catch my breath. So
Well, anything that's going to adhere to the skin, even our matte sprays and all of the things that keep our makeup from moving, it's going to
yeah,
have some alcohol in it or something like
yeah.
that. So yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Especially if it's coming out of an aerosol.
Yeah,
So yeah. So
for sure.
that's my little. I was gonna share another glow up gift, but we'll make that my glow up item for that I want to share with you guys. Leo and like we like to share our fragrance,
Yeah.
and then we like to share our glow up item. And so I will make this my glow up item. This literally is gonna make you glow up. So I will put on some lotion first. I will put on the little lotion, and you can even put like the copper tone, like glowy lotion that's like a bronze, and then put this on top, babe. You can hang it up, baby. They're gonna think you well moisturized and well taken care of, and that's all we need, honey.
I'm more well moisturized. Well, I'm not going to share what's on my chest until we get more comments in the chat. You all have
Yes.
to
Come
ask
on,
because y'all ain't
y'all.
really talking to us. Y'all know this is just our girlfriend time. You all are just getting some insight into us talking and all of those things. But y'all got to talk to us a little bit more. And I'll tell y'all what I have on my chest is making it or did I say Tristan
Yes.
decolletage that's making it, and it actually it's I'm in my bedroom, it's in the bathroom, but I will share with you all what I have on my face. And so, I talk about my moisturizers all the time. And the moisturizer that I use is by Biossance, but today I have on this moisturizer, or actually last night, I wouldn't put this on top of makeup, but I slept in this last night and it's called Medicube Collagen Jelly Cream. Now, I think the collagen
Mm,
part is a little extra, okay, because
mm,
collagen does not come through your pores. It's
right,
just too big of a molecule to do that. However,
right.
this jelly cream is so good and juicy. You all can see it here. And it really does lock in the moisture that you put on your skin before you go to bed at night.
Oh,
And
yummy.
Yeah, you wake up and your skin. I don't know if you all ever go to bed and hey Trinette Morris, you know what? I have you in my notes tonight as we talk about something, so I need you to stay here. You might be like Leo is bugging out, but don't leave, friend. um,
Oh, Lord. Hey, friend. And Chandra, thank you so much. My baby said our faces are big. Yes,
oh,
thank you,
thank you,
friend.
Chandra.
Thank
And
you.
Yolante didn't even have to do it for me. I did it all by myself. Look at me
You look
trying to
amazing.
learn.
You look
so,
amazing.
so this
Yeah,
is
y'all,
what I had on my skin last
comment
night.
with us in the chat so we can know that we are, you guys are interacting with us. We want to have fun, and y'all know we love playing. And I need Leo to tell me what that is because that is so juicy. Oh my God, that looks
Yes, so
amazing.
this is Medicube collagen jelly cream, and I had it on my skin last night. And so you wake up and you're all bouncy and juicy. Your face is
Mm,
all nice and juicy. But what I have on my décolletage, you all have to interact with us more. Y'all got to talk to us a little bit more, and then I'm gonna tell you what it is because it's a Black-owned product, and they're going out of business, and it's on sale. And I hate that they're going out of business because it's such a great product. However, because of this orange man and the tariffs and all of the things, they are taking
oh,
a break. But it is an excellent product. I've been using it for over a year. And when I tell you it's going to snatch your skin right on up and give you a glow, but y'all got to talk to us
yeah,
a little bit more. You got to say, you got to put it in the chat. Share, Leo, share, and then I'll go and get it. But
absolutely. Yes. See, Vera wants to know, honey, where did you get it from? I know
oh,
that's right, friend.
okay, look, I'll go get it. But let us see. Should we get started first and then I go get it, or
Well,
should
let's
I go?
decide, and we'll make sure that we will definitely for
Oh,
sure make sure we
yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all
put
at
that
the
in the
end,
chat
so y'all stay.
for sure. So Leo and I wanted to talk with you guys. Y'all know we do all things beauty, we do all things skin, but Leo and I have a relationship where we talk a lot about trending topics and what's going on in the world. Just as it relates to us and where we are in our lives. And but we like to approach things from what we consider to be an elevated perspective. We don't like to just go in there to be gossipy and just be like, oh girl, you see what so and so did. We like to look at things and extract the lessons from everything. And y'all know
Absolutely.
that's super appropriate for me because, honey, I'm a teacher. I always like me a good lesson. And I'm a Capricorn. I'm ruled by Saturn. We are the planet of lessons. That's all we believe is that everybody's here to learn lessons. So for me, I always love a good lesson. So, friend, what do you think, friend?
So you are absolutely right. It really, when we have conversations, it definitely isn't about gossip. It is about the gym. What can you learn? And you all heard
Yeah,
us talk a lot about this when we talked about Kisha Kaur, even when we talked about Eve. Take the meat and leave the bones.
yeah,
There is a lesson to be learned from everyone, even if it's what not to do. And so that is how Yolante and I talk. That is the way we absorb information. And
yeah,
we can take information from anyone, people who we like, people who we don't like. There's a lesson to be learned. And at this big age, we need to learn lessons. And the gossip, the mean girls, both of us are anti mean girl. And so we really, really want to talk about some hot
yeah,
topics that are going on, that are trending right now. But what are the lessons that we can learn, even at this big age? What are the lessons that we can learn?
yeah,
Or what would be the lessons that you would share with your nieces, with your daughters, with your granddaughters? What would be the lessons that you would teach them through these kind of dramatic or headlining topics? And so that's what we're going to do today. So you're going to get an insight into not only our conversations, but how we think, our lens of things, and
yeah.
what are the lessons that we're learning, as well as the lessons that we want to share with each of you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Chandra, I got you. Chandra said we need to see the outfit. Girl, you listen,
Yeah.
honey. You don't tell you nothing for me to get up and and
Do a
uh
little,
and
do a
and,
little
and, and
twirl.
shimmy and shake for the people,
Mhm.
honey. So we we'll introduce the topics one at a time. So you guys please interact with us and tell us your thoughts on these as we discuss them.
Yes,
First
please.
we are going to talk about Miss Kely Price. You guys probably have seen
Yeah.
or heard the viral rant that went around of her going off
The
And I'm just
brown
going to give you a
world's in
real
it.
quick summary or some context for people who may not have seen it. So we are going to give you that so you can kind of, and I'm going to try to remain as objective as possible. So basically, Kely Price she went on live stream and she addressed criticism that she received about her appearance and her clothing from a recent performance. And one of the things that she said, kind of angrily, was that despite being called a fat, and sometimes you'll hear me spell out words because I know some words, if you're live and you say them, they'll violate you because they think you're like being mean and that kind of stuff and trolling. And that's not what I'm doing. So they call her FATSLOB. And she was talking about how she was being judged for how she looked, and they were saying how big her feet were. And she was going on to say that, while, people are in her comments criticizing her, she is still selling out tour or selling out concerts and all of that. But then when she was in the middle of her live, it kind of shifted to a more negative tone, because then she started kind of attacking the Black community. She said she is sick of our BS. And she said specifically Black women in general, she said, and I quote, "We are some of the most nasty, disrespectful people on God's green earth." She goes on and accuses Black women of being critical of one another, pointing out how people who appear to be educated and accomplished and they call themselves activists will come on social media and be mean, and basically they're lacking class in their actions. She then goes on to say that, degrees don't define character, and that's not going to guarantee you entrance into heaven.
Oh,
And yeah. And so she criticized basically social media, people that use social media to attack others. It was really raw. It was really
very.
unfiltered. Um, and so Leo, I'll let you, jump in there and tell us what your thoughts, and then I'll share mine.
So again, how we're going to dissect each one of these topics is what is the lesson to be learned. So I'm going to share a couple of lessons that I took from this particular situation, and let Yolante chime in, and then she's going to share a couple of her lessons as well. And so let's start off with what is true, right? There is no question that Kely Price is talented, right? There is absolutely no question. Anyone who says she can't sing is a liar from hell.
Right
Like,
from the
listen,
pits
you
of
got,
hell.
she is absolutely talented. Um, However, we also know that there are a lot of entertainment options that consumers have. And no one is asking, I don't believe, Kely Price to perform like Beyonce or go and fly through the air like Chris Brown. He singing upside down while he flying through the air. I don't think that anyone is asking Kely Price to do any of those things. However, I do think that people have the expectation for you to show up based on who you say you are. And she says she is an
Mm.
entertainer. So they're expecting you to come and entertain. And a part of entertainment is what we see visually. It isn't just about what we hear, it is also about what we see. And so I want to take this away from Kely Price for a second so that we can all learn a lesson. And this is where I'm going to talk about Trinette right quick, right? So we know that Trinette is a amazing chef, right? She mothers me, and I don't have any problem with saying that although she is one of my closest friends, she also takes me under her wing because I am a raggedy woman with a raggedy palate. And so she mothers me. She takes care of me. She cooks for me, all of the things, right? And so we know that Trinette is an amazing cook, but she's also a professional chef. Imagine if Trinette did all of these amazing things, right? But she plated them on a dirty garbage can lid. It's not
Right.
going to be as appetizing, regardless of how good the food is. no one is going to want to consume that because of the presentation. So when you say you are a professional chef or you are a professional in an industry, you have to present that way. And I don't know if you all have had a chance to go to Kely Price's Instagram. I don't follow Kely Price like that. While I think she's an
Mhm.
amazing talent, I don't follow her. But after this controversy, I did go to her Instagram. Kely Price shows up not like who she says she is, which is an amazing, and what we know she is, which is an amazing talent. She shows up like she's going to the grocery store. And I don't say that with any shade. Kely Price is dressed. She's not even dressed like Yolante and I are, and we at our house. She looks like
Yeah.
they said, hey Kelly, we need you to perform at 10, and it was 9:30. And she was like, all right. Now, because of her talent, she can get right up and do a little 1 2 1 2 and still perform vocally. But people are there to see an experience. They are paying for an experience, just like when you go and see a professional chef. You're not just paying for good food, you're paying for the linen, you're paying for the
Yeah.
plating, you're paying for the atmosphere. And I don't understand why Kely Price doesn't understand that part of what she's presenting, because
Mhm.
she's been in this business for such a long time. And it's the same thing. And again, the lesson for each of us is it's the same thing that we have to do when we say we are professional CEOs, when we
Yep.
are professional teachers, when we go to the courtroom and we are attorneys, right? You could be the most prolific attorney there is. However, if you come in there with jeans and a tank top, the likelihood that anyone is going to take you seriously, the likelihood that someone is going to hire you to represent them lessens, because you're not presenting who you say you are. If you're a
Yeah.
professional, you show up as a professional. And I'm struggling with not necessarily what happened with um the bullying part, but I'm struggling with why Kely Price didn't understand the reaction that she got when she showed up in sneakers and ill-fitting clothing that wasn't representing who she is as a professional. So I'll stop right there with that first lesson, friend, and let you chime in.
Yeah, so when the rant, I'll call it a rant, initially happened, I didn't know what it was in response to, and then I, did some digging, and I saw the video. It was a video of her performing in Memphis, and she definitely was not well dressed. Now I do know, and this is coming from someone who is plus size and who understands the struggle of, you know, comfort, uh, trying to be stylish, what's available to you, but also her having to be on her feet all day, maybe not being able to wear a pair of stilettos and for whatever
Very
reason,
true.
maybe having to wear sneakers. But the outfit was just not, it just was one of those outfits that's just gonna open you to criticism. Like there was no if, ands, or buts about it. It was just not a great look for her. And honestly, I had seen her in a couple of other things that she had gone to, like the Rock, Jay-Z Rock breakfast or something, and
Right.
she just looked much better. So it's not one of those things where she can't look better. It just wasn't a great effort put into the look. And I'll say this: I understand that Kely Price was filtering her response. She was filtering it through her trauma and her unhealed self.
Okay.
Again, as a plus size person, how you show up, how any of us show up. It's not about being plus size. How any of us show up and respond to things is based on our traumas and wounds and that sort of thing. So I have to give her grace because I understand that's how
Yes.
she was filtering her response. Um, the big thing that I think Kely Price and all of us need to learn is the power. You guys, if you don't know, I'm becoming trauma informed. And we need to learn the power of what they call the pause. There's a book that I'm reading right now. It's called The Alchemy of Inner Work. And she talks about the pause. And the pause is the moments between outside stimuli and our gut feeling to react. And that's where a lot of us are having problems, because somebody says something to us and our gut instinct is to just go off, because whatever they said for some reason has hurt us and it's caused us to want to react. But if we just take a moment and, pause, you take your 3 deep breaths, you go inside, and then I always, for me, it doesn't always work, I try to ask myself, before I get ready to say what I'm getting ready to say, because I'm going to say something real crazy, why is what the person did or said affecting me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she did not do. Kely Price allowed a bunch of internet trolls to cause her to get on social media and probably further diminish any, I don't know, I won't say any good thoughts we have about her, but it just doesn't make her look great. Like, she allowed these people to knock her off her square. And these are people who, that's what they do. They are unhappy with themselves. They walking around. Because for you to go on somebody's comments and make comments about what somebody's wearing, that means you're bold and you probably unhealed yourself. And she allowed them to do that. So that's my big lesson, is she needs to have incorporated the pause. Like, take a moment, because she could have said all those things that she said without having to make them negative, without having to attack a whole community of women of which she is a part of, right?
And of
And
which
you
is
know,
largely, who is also largely probably her fan base. I mean, young
right.
white women ain't, checking for Kely Price like that. So the black women that you're talking about is likely your audience, the people that's putting
Yeah.
food on your table. So that was also, I'm sorry, friend, but
No, absolutely. And not only that, we've seen you in action. We've seen you on your reality show. We've seen you not be the most pleasant, amenable person. So you're not always that person. And so that goes to another lesson of the law of, like the law of attraction. Remember, everything that we do is a mirror reflection of who we are. What we attract is a mirror reflection of who we are. So I don't even really worry about too many people trolling me on my page when I post something and being this size. I've had a few people make comments, but that very rarely happens to me. And I'm not even saying, like, comparing myself to her as celebrity, but I'm saying because people know me and my spirit and my energy to be a certain way, I'm generally not going to have people coming on there with mean spiritedness. And so I do think that she has operated in a space of mean spiritedness sometimes. And I do believe that when you do that, you are going to attract that back to you. And so I would like for her to have, one, taken the pause and said what she needed to say, said the same exact things, but have figured out a way to say them in a less hurtful way, especially in a way that degrades the community I think that you were a part of. So,
I agree.
uh, yeah, so I don't know. She could have said, for instance, and I wrote this down because I knew I would forget. Instead of saying that she was an FATSLOB, she could have been like, even though, my body standards don't meet, my body doesn't meet your standards, my voice can sell out arenas. She could have made the same point, and she could have shut me up if I were a troll. And when you let the troll see that they're getting you mad and upset, they're gonna keep going. They're just gonna keep
Mm-hmm.
doing what they do. So I could have, when you don't let people upset you, that makes it worse. You know what I'm saying? They have no choice but to shut up and move on, because they're like, oh, I can't do nothing with this one. She ain't giving me, she's not giving me what it is that I'm looking for. So yeah, I don't know, friend. I don't know what
I
do you think.
completely agree. I hate that this happened because, like I said, I don't follow Kely Price, so
Yeah.
the only reason I had heard about this is for something negative yet again, right? Because she
Yeah.
has had some negative things that have happened, and it always seems like, when she comes up is for something negative. And so this kind of just reinforced that again amongst the
Hmm.
community that supports her primary fan base. And none of us want to see her harmed, and her not be able to sell out arenas because she's alienated the very people who love her voice and who love what she gives. So, your lesson of taking a pause and not letting someone knock you off your square is completely on point. I think that
Yeah.
perspective of understanding that your talent gets you in the door, but your presentation is what sets the table. And
Yeah.
that's for any of us, whether we are attorneys, we are corporate executives, teachers, we have to show up dressed in the way and dressed in the job that we're saying that we're performing. And that's just an overarching lesson. She is an entertainer. People are paying their money to come to have an entire experience that includes not just your vocal uh, expertise, because they can listen to that on the radio, they can listen to that on
Yeah.
a CD. They come for the live experience that you're going to give them, and
Hmm.
it's not fair for you to easily dismiss that. Now, could that be communicated from the fans a little differently, other than calling you out your name? Of absolutely. um,
Yeah.
but I just don't think that the way in which she handled it helped. And let me go into this, saying that sometimes a critique is simply a mirror. It's not a weapon.
Absolutely.
Perhaps excuse me, there is something to be said about the critique that she received. You know,
Hmm.
listen, anybody who knows me, and you really my friend, you really my friend. I ain't talking about, you know, some handkerchief head, some handkerchief head jokers, anybody like that. But you're really my people. You know, I love me a good old haze, because people who love you will tell you the truth. And I'm not saying that those were the individuals that were on that live with her, or or in her comments that led to the live. However, what I am saying is that there may have been some truth in what was being said. And to your point, instead of taking the pause and giving it a fair assessment, because perhaps based on past trauma, she dismissed it and threw away the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah.
And I am here to say, while I again appreciate her talent, there was some truth in what was being said. She's not showing up, to your point, um, based on how we've seen her show up before, at her best in the job that she was in at the time. You can go to the grocery store on your own. That's more than fair. But if you show up to work and work happens to be a stage, you should look like that. And I just feel like she didn't necessarily look in the mirror at that critique fairly. I'm sorry if I'm saying it raggedy, but the 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 mirror isn't a weapon sometimes. I have
Yeah.
been told some things that I needed to know, that I couldn't necessarily see, but people who cared for me, and even people who didn't, there was some truth in it, and it needed to be addressed. And at the end of the day, I appreciated it because I'm better for it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um,
And that's
Trinette is
maturity.
so
That's
crazy.
maturity. And she too, I mean, we grown. She our age.
Absolutely.
We grown, baby. Listen, take the meat, leave the bones.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because especially if there is some truth in it, I listen. That's where the question comes in. Why am I being offended by this? Is there some truth to this? And then take it and then be like, okay, how can I be better? Trinette is so crazy. She said, or she could call it the My House tour, and you could dress how you want, just like you would at home, and then problem will be solved. Trinette, I can't. Y'all
Come
know my
on,
friend
Brandy.
is a,
Come on, Brandy. Come on,
you
let's
know, my
rebrand.
friend is a
Let's
Brandon Irwin expert problem solver. Let's be clear.
let's go ahead and rebrand the
The
concert
girl
then.
said truth and absolutely, and Taretha said absolutely don't give them any power. It's true. It's true. We have got to stop giving out power to people and stop because that. And you thank you, Taretha, for saying that because a lot of the problem is if somebody that I don't care about, who could mean absolutely nothing to me, says anything to me, it's like one of them little funny looking kids at the school. Now you know they're not funny looking, but some of them are saying something to me about my outfit. I don't care. You're funny looking. Like, why would I let a child? You know what I'm saying? It's like this person of all people can't. Like, you can't. There's nothing you can say to me. You literally have no importance to my well being and all the things. So yeah, friend, it is what it is, and I hope she, I hope she just, I could tell she's hurting, and I just want her to get some help with that. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I agree. I think we can all see that there is some hurt there for sure. And no one wants that for her. And we all want to continue to be blessed by her beautiful gift. So, we wish her the best for sure. So you ready to go on to the next topic, friend?
I am.
All right. So the next topic that we're going to talk about is Saweetie and this whole pretty punishment term that she has come up with. Okay. So
I'm
in
gonna
a
start
recent
rolling my eyes.
oh, don't roll them, friends. So, in a recent interview with Hot 97, just to give the audience a little bit of context here, rapper Saweetie introduced a new term called pretty punishment, suggesting that her beauty uh, has led to animosity and exclusion in the industry. So let me read to you all specifically what she said. She said that they talk about pretty privilege, but they don't talk about pretty punishment. There's been so many times that I've been counted out, and I know that it's behind animosity. I know that it's because of a hidden agenda, but it just makes me work harder. What I deal with in the industry is just different face, same case. Now, let me break this down for you guys just a second. So I took a little notes and I wanted to break down specifically what she was saying. So pretty privilege, as we've heard of, that's a kind of a coin term. We know at Yolante and I and our audience's age, we know that pretty privilege is real. It can offer you visibility. It can open up doors for you. It can put you into proximity to power. But what Sweetie is describing was being dismissed, overlooked, and underestimated in spite of her look. So, in spite of the pretty privilege that she has, she's suggesting that this pretty punishment is this making her become overlooked and underestimated because of her looks. Now, in my opinion, Sweetie had a golden opportunity, Yolante, to name a few deeper truths, right?
Hmm.
How women, regardless of how they look in male dominated spaces, and we know that the music industry is a male dominated space,
Hmm.
they're often faced with systematic misogyny by men who are in positions of power. And that's not just in the music industry, right? That's in corporate America, that's in the classroom, that's in the courtroom. Women face, regardless of how they look, they face systematic misogyny. She missed an opportunity to make this a bigger conversation, right? She also could have taken it from the perspective of how some women, due to survival conditioning, which we've all, in some instances, been conditioned to think, internalize competition instead of collaboration. So again, missing the opportunity to make this a larger conversation. Um, Unfortunately, what she did was she centered the conversation on her perceived haters. And
Hmm.
I'm putting that in quotes because and we'll get into that. She framed herself as a victim of unseen sabotage. And that landed with the audience less as an issue that required or called for sympathy. And it sounded like she was having a narcissistic pity party. That's the way it came across. And she got beat up in the industry. It and throughout social media. Social media was not kind in their responses, and it sparked this massive critique, not only of her looks, but also from everything from her talent to her relevance. So I'll stop there, friend, and let you provide the lessons on pretty punishment.
Okay, I'm gonna try not to roll my eyes.
Don't roll your eyes
Um,
now, because you
because
gonna give some lessons.
because the eye rolling is going to sound like it's indicating that I'm being a hater. And y'all, sometimes when people tell you stuff and it's the truth, they're not being a hater.
Just like what we said
We
with Kely
have a
Price.
conversation all the time, Leo, you and I and others, about how being pretty will get you into a door or into a room, but it will not keep you there.
Correct.
And we all know good and doggone well that if Saweetie was as talented as maybe she thinks she is, I don't know how she thinks her talent is. She says she's a hard worker.
Mhm.
then she would not get the criticism that she gets. My bigger question though is, for me, I'm going to look at how many times did your privilege get you something versus punishing you? Because I
Right.
don't really get it. You know, like how many doors were open because she's attractive, she's lighter skinned, she's young, she has a particular figure. Like, girl, many people who are truly talented, I'm not saying she's not talented, but I'm talking about real talented chicks have gotten bypassed because they were less marketable than she was.
Right.
So it's just hard for me to it's just hard for me to feel sympathy. I can empathize with it, but I can't sympathize with it, and I don't want to hear it. And I think that's why that segment, because when I watched it, I was like, well, let me watch the whole interview. And when I saw the whole interview, it was so short that there was nothing else you could talk about because there was nothing else to say. Like, okay, well, let's talk about your talent and your body of work that you put out and how you're an icon in the industry. Girl, okay, don't do this, baby. Beauty is a double-edged sword, right? Like we all know it's gonna draw animosity, but we also know it's gonna unlock rooms and it's gonna get you certain privileges with men, the industry, jobs, anything. Like people just treat you differently when they find you attractive, and she's gotten more from that than she has not. Again, beauty cannot replace talent, so I don't, girl. Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm an older chick. I'm 48, going on 49. Maybe I don't know. Is she a lyricist? Is she a super talented lyricist that is, like doing some really dope music that we just don't know about? But I don't think so. I've heard what she has. It's very bubblegum rap,
Very, very well.
great beats. She's pretty, and it's like it's a good bop, but it's nothing where I'm gonna be like Andre 3000 and she done said something to blow my damn mind. Girl, you gotta have several seats. I'm not gonna do this with you, sweetie. I love you because you're adorable, you're cute, you're pretty, you're all the things, and you're great to look at. But I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not gonna be able to empathize with you. And then I'll say this. My final thing that I had to think about was, why is it that, and I'm going to talk about women, because there were some men who were talking about her, but why is it that women specifically are going to have an issue with Sweetie? And the reason is because, Heifer, you make music that divides you from everybody else. Everything you rap about is about how pretty you are, how much
Mm.
money you have, the kind of man you got. All the music you make is music that separates you. It's not music that's like the girl music. It's not community music. It's not like it's that me versus you music. I take your man music. Y'all can't do what I can do music. So when you have that kind of music, I don't. Why am I feeling sorry for you, baby? You just told me that we're not on the same level. So I'm not getting ready to feel sorry for you when you are creating that kind of, music of exclusion versus inclusion. You're not a community driven artist. I don't care. We don't care. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. But that's it, friend. I don't know. Tell me what you think.
So I'm gonna, again, because we're talking about the overall lessons for us to take away from this situation. I'm not gonna focus so much on her, mainly because I don't know her music like that.
Right.
Um, and if I'm being honest, I don't necessarily care about her specifically, but I
Yeah.
care about our friends and our audience and the people that are here with us. So I think what I'm going to focus on is the larger lesson for us. And the first
Yeah.
thing that I'm going to talk about is the fact that, in the words of Sidra, do y'all know who Sidra is?
I
Sidra,
I know that name. I do. I've only heard that name once, so
what did you
clearly
hear?
somebody I know from
Who?
a show or something.
Okay, so Sidra is the girl from Love and Basketball. And what did Sidra say in Love and Basketball? She said, "Don't let a rookie take you out your spot."
Yes. Yes.
So, in the
Yes.
words of the
Yes.
prolific Sidra, baby,
Yes.
never let a rookie take your spot. There
Yeah.
is always going to be someone prettier than you. And we could go back to Sweetie now. Sweetie, baby, there's always going to be someone who's prettier than you, who can definitely dance better than you, who is, in fact, a lyricist, all of those things, right? But once you get in the door, you have to stay in the door, and you cannot let a rookie take your spot. And the only way that you do that, Yolante, is how? By outworking them. And we
Yeah,
all have to do that. When we get into the door of our corporations, into the doors of our jobs, or a board position, or whatever the case is, there is still someone who wants your spot and who may
yeah,
be deserving of your spot. And so, not that you need to always be looking around and looking at people as competition, but you cannot rest on your laurels, especially if you got through the door through prettiness and not through talent.
yeah,
So, you always need to be out working. And that comes with reinvention. That comes with, as the young lady just said, it flashed by so fast I didn't know who that was, but by staying focused, by self-awareness, by
hmm,
evolving, and most importantly, through consistency.
yeah,
And I think that it is very easy to talk about, oh, my haters this and oh, my haters that, but that is a cop out. That
hmm,
is an easy cop out for you to take the responsibility off of yourself for just not working hard, and for allowing yourself to be outworked. Because the fact of the matter is that there are women who are in this industry who are just as pretty, if not prettier, who don't have those problems that you have. Why? Because they're elevating. Why? Because their music is evolving as their audience evolves,
hmm,
and you letting somebody take you out your spot. And the larger lesson for me is you got to keep working. What got you in the door is not going to be the thing that keeps you in the door, as sis said earlier. And you have to recognize that you are responsible. You, and perhaps your team, but you are responsible for the evolution of your talent and of your craft and what you are presenting to the world. And to me, it sounded as if, again, going back to Sweetie specifically, it sounded like she was just not willing to take that responsibility, and it was easier for her to say it's my haters, and people are closing doors to me because I'm pretty. No, it's not because you are pretty. It's because your prettiness just didn't keep the records selling. Again, it got the attention of consumers, but that didn't necessarily, once you got in the door and once they heard the music, was it good? What did you display your talents? Has your talent evolved? And I don't necessarily know if she's willing to have that conversation, or she's willing to simply say it's because I'd be further if y'all weren't jealous of me. That
right,
is a cop out, sis. And if any of us use that cop out, if any of our friends, any of our family members, any of our nieces and daughters, oh, they hating on me on the track field. No, they not. You got beat. They outran you. They outran you today. So what does that mean? You got to run faster.
that's
That's
it.
not your
That's
haters.
it.
Your haters didn't beat you on the track field. Your haters didn't beat you getting the RFP filled out. You fell asleep and you didn't. You fell asleep and they didn't. They applied for the job and you didn't. They elevated their work output and you didn't. You
Yeah,
still continuing to turn in the same PowerPoint presentation
girl from the 80s.
from the 80s.
Yeah, and
That's
we
not
don't
your
have time for
haters.
that.
That's
And
not your
that makes it
that
really makes
part is
me fun
not your
because
haters. Go ahead,
yeah,
sis.
yeah. No, sometimes people, I told you, sometimes people are telling you the truth. And you just made me think of a scene from Beauty and Black. We're going to have a conversation. Y'all, let us know. Drop a B in the chat if y'all have been watching. Drop a B and a B in the chat if y'all have been watching Beauty and Black. And let us know if Leo and I have to talk about that. I've watched it. Leo ain't watching. I'm trying to make her
I
watch
have
it.
not seen
But
one episode.
yeah,
I've
it's
only
a
seen
guilty pleasure.
people.
And I will admit that I watch it. Okay? There, I
The
said it.
people, all of my friends who watch it, they like, hey, that's how I am about some of the reality shows I watch. I'm
It
like,
is what
yes,
it is.
listen now, don't be
Listen.
knowing me too much now.
It is what it is. Listen, Trinette put a B in a B. I know that's right, friend. Listen, it's like you can't look. See, we got to talk. Look, see, we got to talk about it because it's one of those things that
I have
you
never
just
seen it.
you can't stop watching. It's like a train wreck. And people know when I talk about Beauty and Black, girl, Beauty and Black is like a high level Tubi movie, but I don't care. I will watch it because
Gosh,
what is happening?
not the
What
two
is
and the
happening here?
B. Oh
See,
my
they
goodness.
put it in chat, so we definitely gonna talk about Beauty and Black on one of these.
Well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to catch up. Do I have to watch the whole? Can I just get some type of crash course? What can I get?
I can't give you a crash course in that foolishness. You gotta watch it.
Oh
You gotta
Jesus.
watch it. It'll go by fast. I promise. It'll go
So
by fast.
let's close out this segment right quick, friend, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you go to the next one. Let's just be clear. Animosity is in fact real. Bias is real. No one is dismissing that. Again, we are old enough to know that those things happen. But the
Mhm.
things that you can control is your growth, your elevation, your work output. I can't control somebody's animosity towards this shiny
Mhm.
face. Listen, I can't do that. Now, I don't believe that I have anybody who has any animosity towards this face, but if they do, I can't control that. But what I can control is what I can control, which is me, which is my work, which is how long I'm working at my craft. And if I am unwilling to take on that responsibility and I decide that I'm going to sit in a corner and pout about it, I'm going to whine about it, then ultimately at the end of the
Yeah.
day, the world is going to move on and you'll still be in the corner pouting. And
Yeah.
elevation takes time, it takes practice, and you have to keep doing it. And unfortunately, whining is not a strategy. It just is not.
Especially in the music
Complain,
industry, girl. Please.
absolutely not. Complaining is not strategic. And so
Anywhere.
ultimately, at the end of the day, we want all of us to win. We want everyone listening to win. And so the lesson is uh, you can acknowledge it, but you cannot sit there and complain about it without elevating.
I know that's right. I love it. And y'all, I love y'all in the chat. Y'all are so funny. Tammy said we waiting, by the way, for part two. Yes, we are, baby. We waiting for part two. Season two, part two of Beauty and Black is on its way. So, all right, guys. So the next thing, whoo, child, we gonna talk about, honey, is Mr. Nick Cannon.
Oh my God, my
We gonna
Lord.
talk about Nick Cannon, child. So, okay. I'm not gonna belabor any points with regard to Nick Cannon. So I'll give you guys a little contextual overview
Yeah.
so you kind
Okay.
of know if you hadn't heard. I mean, we already know what's going on with him, but he was recently on an interview with the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne the God, and I forgot the other young lady's name. Not just
Lauren
Hilary, but the
DeRosa.
other, yeah, Lauren. And they were interviewing him, and I will actually, in my opinion, say that I won't say it was a great interview. It was a good interview because I got a perspective of him that I don't know, I just hadn't held before. So in it, he basically talks about his career, which I didn't realize he's been in a career for 30 years
Mm.
in this industry. He talked about that he had been recently, and when I say recently, I'll say about 2 years ago, diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, which I did not know. Um, and he goes on to talk about several things. So I'm going to just quickly go down this list of things that he addresses in the interview, and then Leo and I can kind of share our opinion. Do me a favor, drop a C in the chat if you watched the interview. And please, by all means, let us know what your thoughts are. So one of the first things he talked about, I'm really focusing on the unhealed part that kind of relates to Leo and I's conversation, which is usually anything that relates to femininity and confidence. So he talked about how he struggled with being in Mariah Carey's shadow. People would label him as her boy toy, and that made him insecure, right? He talked about, after divorcing Mariah Carey, he didn't have time to heal. And so right after their divorce, he filled his time up with work, women, and anything else that distracted him, which is how, his 12 children came about. um, he talked about, even though, now one thing he did say, and Leo did mention this, he didn't disparage any of his children. He talked about even though he could have made some better decisions with how he handled his healing, he loves his children and that they weren't necessarily on purpose, but he loves them and he wouldn't change anything because of that, because he's very happy about them being born out of, they were born out of their relationships which was for him out of love. Um, he also goes on to talk about, which I didn't know this, he talked about monogamy. We've heard him say that he's not a monogamous person, but he grew up in a household that didn't really follow monogamy. And so, for him, he doesn't think that that's how he's going to be, regardless of how much therapy he's gone through and healing he's gone through. He just doesn't think that's ever going to be his way of showing his love, which I don't judge. I don't judge that at all. Because the way he talked about it was very open and fair, I thought. Um, I thought it was very interesting. He now goes to therapy. Y'all, he has a bunch of therapists. So he has his own personal therapist. He has a family therapist for him, he and his kids. And then he said, and Charlamagne was being an ass about it because he was dapping him up. He was like, well, what about the therapist for the women? And he was like, well, it depends on, and Nick wasn't trying to be a jerk about it, but he was basically saying, depending on which baby mama wants to have therapy and express herself in a safe space, then he'll have therapy for them. So, child, he has a number of therapists that he sees, which is very, very, very interesting. And then, yeah, he just kind of talks about, how his narcissistic personality disorder would show up and how he would treat the women. He was very much like, I'm Nick Cannon. What y'all think, like, I'm Nick Cannon. This is what I do. I can do what I want to do. So, that's kind of what the interview was about, friends. So I don't know if you want to jump in there and share some of your thoughts on the interview.
So it was a lot. It was a
It was
lot.
a
It was
lot.
a small piece of the interview. However, it was interesting, one, because I think most of us, probably baby number 6 out of the 12, we was like, hey, Nick, something's going on. Something's
What's
wrong.
happening?
So the
What's
fact that
happening?
he is now just
What's
saying,
going
hey,
on? What are you
yeah,
doing? Hey, hey.
I now see this as a problem. We're like, yeah, okay. So, but hey, listen, we have family members and even ourselves. We learned a lesson when we learned a lesson. So,
Right.
thank God that he is learning a lesson. And hey, he
Yeah.
didn't have Leo and Lance that's gonna break down lessons for him. So,
Yeah. Come in here, sit
so
down, baby. We need to talk to you. Come on and sit
right.
down. What's going on?
Come on, sugar. Now put that thing away now, because listen, Auntie
Please.
Leo will slap you with that thing. I don't need no babies, but but come sit down, because yeah, we was. I think most people were like, okay, yeah, you're just getting this. We were trying to tell you this, baby number 6, but okay, he's learning the lesson. But there is a lot to be said here. Um, I don't follow Nick Cannon closely, Yolante, but I have heard other interviews with him. And he has gone so far as to say, and I shared this with you the other day, that in previous interviews, he's actually been referenced as Mr. Mariah Carey, right? When he
Mm-hmm.
was married to her. And I can assume that type of public emasculation, I'm not a man, but I could
Mm-hmm.
assume that type of
Mm-hmm.
public emasculation, it doesn't just leave a scar. That leaves a reminder to him.
Mm-hmm.
That was a reminder of him that she is a star and you are her plus one. And that type of trauma can not only leave a scar, but it, I think, shaped him and how he began to move after they divorced. The amount of uh, projects that he attached his name to, but also the type, not only the number of women, Yolante, but also the type of women that he attached
Yeah.
himself to.
Yeah.
And so when that marriage ended and him not mourning the loss of his wife, I think that it was important for him to associate himself with a certain type of woman who would not who would not overshadow his star anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
also put himself in a position where he didn't have to focus on the conversations that you need to have with yourself about why someone else's shine emasculates you.
Mhm.
And that's a
Mhm.
hard conversation to have. So instead of having that conversation, he associated himself with women who didn't shine as bright as he did. And not to talk about those women, but they were not Mariah Carey, who is a icon, right?
Right.
Um, and so I also think what he did was he looked for adoration, he looked for praise, and he also used something, some language in the interview, Yolante. They were coming after me. So he also looked to be chased. And
Right.
I thought that that was pretty interesting that he would say that this
Mhm.
whole idea of overcorrection. My wife didn't do any of those things. Not saying that Mariah Carey wasn't a good wife, but this idea that these women adored him while she was over there being adored by the public, his wife.
Mhm.
These women chased him. Mariah Carey, I'm sure, is not. If we can take a guess, I don't believe that Mariah Carey chases anybody, right? She don't
So
hardly move on,
she ain't chasing nobody.
and baby, she don't move that much on the stage. So I can't imagine that she's gonna be chasing
Yeah.
behind little Nick Cannon. And so his overcorrection of what happened with his within his marriage, I think, is the result. These children are the result of this need to overcorrect. I think, however, again, us not just talking about the the drama of it all, but also what is the lesson for us. The lesson that I took from this is, if you don't heal the things that have happened to you, Yolante,
Mhm.
one day you will make loud, public, and very messy choices because you didn't heal silently and quietly those things that needed to be addressed. You either gonna address them silently and in private, or you're gonna address them publicly. But at some point, they're going to have to be addressed because they're gonna bubble up, right?
Yeah.
And so, whether it's your children, business, relationships, or even chasing the spotlight, when trauma is unhealed, it doesn't just sit there. It doesn't. It shapes our choices. It shapes them unconsciously, and we use those things as distractions, um, as projects, accomplishments to avoid the work, the inward work
Yeah.
that eventually has to be done. The last thing that I'll say, and then I'll be quiet, is listen now. Come close. Come here. And I hope it's some nieces listening. Come here. But even some of my girlfriends, come close now, because I got to tell you something. You are responsible for, and I'm putting a period behind each word that I say. You, period, are, period, responsible for protecting your peace and, period, your womb. And while this was an interview about Nick Cannon, these women had a part to play in this. And I'm not even maybe
For
talking
sure.
about woman number one, maybe not number two. Now, number three, four, and five, and definitely number six. Come here. You knew that there was something going on with that baby. You knew that was, and I'm calling him a baby, and he's 45 years old, meaning that he's only 5 years younger than I am. But you knew, because he talking about his childhood trauma. So you gonna talk about your childhood, I'm gonna treat you like a child. You knew there was something going on with that baby. And you still, for whatever reason, financially, your own trauma, your own need for love, whatever, you decided to have a man and allow a man into your, not only into your space, your living space, but into your bed and then into your womb. Come here.
Yeah. You
You're
already know,
responsible
honey.
for that.
Don't get me started. I'm not gonna even get started because mm-mm, mm-mm.
Listen, this man, he is rich, he is charming, he has all of this potential. You think he's going to give you a future or whatever it is that you thought. But you know what he is not? Even though he's all of those things, he was not a whole healed man.
Mhm.
And we
Mhm.
are responsible for dissecting that vetting that, using some level of discernment, because again, even if Nick Cannon didn't know that he had this disorder, you knew through his actions that there was something going on with that man, and you still allowed him to place his seed in your womb. That is a problem,
Yeah.
sis. That is a
Yeah.
problem. And the lesson for us is we are responsible for our peace. Even if he didn't know it, we are responsible for what he don't know. And we are responsible for protecting ourselves from what he does not know. That's
Yeah.
not fair. That is not fair to you, for you to do that to yourself. And I'll say that to you as a sister. And anybody who knows me, they know listen, we have a real conversation. This is the type of friend that I am. I'm a love on you. I am the most loyal friend you gonna find on planet Earth. I'm riding for you. But I'm also, we're gonna have a conversation, because you are responsible for me and I am responsible for you. And
Mhm.
I'm not gonna let you get a pass for you letting that man put a seed in you and allowing him to put his narcissistic penis inside of you and leave you with a baby that now has to deal with the trauma of hearing that his daddy said, I made some mistakes because I didn't deal with the issues that I had with my first wife. What those kids don't think when they hear this interview. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. And I'm sure he's going to be able to explain it to them and all of the things. But sis, yes, we talk about Nick Cannon, but we gotta put some responsibility on those sisters as well.
Absolutely. Do me a favor, guys, because y'all hear my friend preacher, honey. She getting us all the way
Look, I'm
together.
not mad.
I
You know,
know.
some of
I
my
know, friend. Don't
preach.
be mad, friend. It's
I ain't
okay.
gonna get mad because I love
So do
Nick
me a
Cannon.
favor. I'm getting a message from one of my friend, that you may be a little bit off camera. Guys, do me a favor, drop a heart in the chat if you can see both Leo. I do know that sometimes, depending on what device you're on, if you're on a computer, a phone, an iPhone, an Android, it may not be. We may not be centered. So drop me a heart if you can see Leo and hear us clearly. Please, 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 and thank you. Y'all know we would appreciate it. Okay, so we should be okay, and I want to thank my
Sorry about
friend
that. I
Christina.
did come close to the camera because I needed y'all to hear me. Come in, sis. Come here.
No, 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 it's not even
Let's
that. It's off to the side. But
oh,
I think it might just be her phone. So yeah, we're getting some heart, so we should be okay. Y'all are tripping me out in the chat, honey. Teresa said A.M.E.N, baby. Yes, amen. And Lori said you better say it. The iPhones are good over here. Perfect. Okay. Listen. It's a lot. It's a
it
lot.
was a lot.
Um, you guys know everything I do is through the lens of femininity, which forces me to look at masculinity. So one, especially if there are any men on here, or if you have any men in your lives, whether it be your sons, your partners, your friends, your homeboys, your nephews, whatever, I'm going to suggest a book for you to read. It's called The Way of the Superior Man. And it addresses a lot of things about masculinity. Leo touched a lot on it. While the women, particularly in these relationships with Nick Cannon, are responsible for everything that happens to him, we all know that these are unhealed women. Because if they were healed and in their healthy feminine, they would not be allowing this man to enter into their womb. Y'all, your womb space is the most creative portal that
Jesus.
exists in this world and in this plane. It is the reason why there are so many issues that we have that we don't even understand and know about. When a man is intimate with you and releases in you, remember, women are alchemists and we are transmuters. We take from them, we receive, and we transmute it and we change it and we actually make it better for them, which is why when men are dealing with certain things that, like if they're dealing with a trauma or upset at work or something is going on, there's a lot of times where they want to be intimate with you because there is something about you and your spirituality and the creative space and the nurturing space of your womb space that actually transmutes negative energy into positive energy. Now, what we don't realize happens with that is you end up taking
Absorb
on
it.
all of their trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
end up taking on their issues, right? There even been actual studies, y'all, that show that women, especially if you're dealing with a lot of different men who are leaving residue in you, so to speak, you actually take on their DNA. So
Yes.
you got to be very careful about who you let in your womb space. But we all know, come on now, we all know that we are reflections, again, like I said earlier, we are mirror reflections of people in our lives. Nick Cannon would never be able to be in my face, the unhealed version of him would never be able to be in my face talking any of that talk. I don't care how long your money is, sir. Like, it just wouldn't happen. But if you are unhealed, it is going to be very easy for you, especially as a narcissist, to come in and say the things that, you know, women want to hear. Because remember, women we want attention. We want adoration. We want somebody to love on us. And so men can see that. And if you don't get that attention, they will give it to you, and then you'll be looking crazy, right? So yeah, definitely check out that book and share it. It's called The Way of the Superior Man by David Data. Leo really said a lot.
I know.
In
I was
the
preaching, friend.
biggest part,
I got mad.
no, it's good. The biggest part that stuck out with me is hearing his unhealed masculinity was his insecurity. And his insecurity forced him to behave in such a way that, you know, not only did he create problems with these women, but remember, now you have these humans, 12 of them, you know, and his baby that passed away. But you have these humans that have now been created out of this chaos. And now that, thank God, he's trying to create a loving environment. He's always been there for his kids. Yeah. But it's still going to, you created a person. And that's what we don't think about. I'm not saying forget the women, but it's now, for me, my worry is always going to be those kids. And as an educator and as a teacher, my worry is always going to be those kids, because I know, I can see it when they come into my classroom. I know what kind of environment you come from based on your behavior. Your behavior tells your tale. That, I mean, it just is what it is. So, so yeah, the unhealthy masculine is always obsessed with, not always, the unhealthy masculine is obsessed with, you know, proving themselves and competing and needing validation. Because remember, guys, we talked about this on the last episode we had. The men, they are motivated by purpose. Men are here to fulfill a purpose. And so they're driven by ambition and purpose. And so when they don't know their purpose, it is very hard for them to be focused on doing the right things. They just kind of willy-nilly doing, they just dilly-dallying, doing anything. And so you have to give them a purpose. And so when, like Leo said, he's in Mariah Carey's shadow, he was like, no, this is not going to work for him. And he became hyper. He became like hyper masculine in his jobs. Like, I didn't know how many. He has so many companies. He has so many companies that he was making money from. I did not know how much money this man was worth. Like, he just had a million companies. And that came out of his trauma. So, yeah, the unhealed masculine is obsessed with proving themselves, competition. They need validation. Again, these women validated him. The unhealthy masculine runs from emotions and avoids responsibility by staying busy. So if you are seeing these things in your own relationships, or you're seeing these things with your children or your sons or nephews or uncles or cousins, brothers, whatever, we need to start having conversations with them about how this is unhealthy. The unhealthy masculine, and this is what Nick Cannon did, uses their power and access without discernment, and they leave behind emotional fallout. And we all know that's what he did. Like,
and
he was basically like, go ahead, friend. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to add, he said that not only, you're not guessing here. He said it. He said that I did it because I could.
Yes. Yeah. And that is super unhealthy. And I'll say this. Anybody who knows me knows that a disciplined man is the most attractive man to me. And he was being undisciplined because he could. He was just doing whatever he wanted to because he could. He had access to these women. And he was being a narcissist by saying, well, hell, they was chasing me. Y'all, the healthy masculine chases. They pursue. That's what the masculine does. They pursue while the feminine receives. When you are being chased and you like being chased, you are 100% not in your healthy masculine. And that to me is a telltale that, baby, I don't chase men. That's just not what I do. Right. So, you know, I remember having a conversation with one of my friends about a disciplined man, and she was laughing because I was like, you know, I actually like and appreciate when my partner tells me no. And she was looking at me crazy, like, what you mean? Because for me, if he can say, well, not no, but if he says no, not right now, to me, that tells me that he is disciplined. But not only that, he has the forethought to understand that a decision that I may be making, a rash decision, is going to affect me long term or affect our unit long term. And a man's purpose is to protect you and provide for you and provide security long term. So if they see I'm getting ready to do something that's not going to make sense, they're supposed to be able to say no to you. And we have women who want to be spoiled. They want to be spoiled brats, but I'm grown. I am 100% okay with a man being disciplined and telling me no. Well, no, not right now. Right? There's nothing sexier. And especially because if a man can't be disciplined with me and tell me no when he needs to tell me no, that means he can't say no to anything. That means he can't even say no to other women. That means he can't say no to other things that are going to jeopardize our relationship and our empire building and all of those things. So, ladies, I guess my message here is to be okay with a man telling you no or no, not right now. If he's using it, if he's doing it from the perspective of having forethought to say, this is not a wise decision for our family right now. This is not a wise decision for our empire building right now. Being a spoiled brat, yeah, I mean, some people think it's cute and cool, but a real strong, disciplined man, to me, there's nothing sexier than that. And I don't know, it's just a real turnoff for men who just they overindulge. Like, to me, femininity can get into that space of overindulgence, but masculine men who do that, I don't know. That's not it's given not safe, and it gives me the icks. I'm sorry, it just gives me the icks. So yeah, but yeah, but I will say with the interview, the really great thing was you could hear his therapist talking through him. You could hear that he was really absorbing what he was being told in his therapy sessions. He's very trauma informed. And I loved it for him. He's trying to make a safe space for his baby's mothers to be able to, say what they need to say to him. He's trying to make sure the kids are taken care of. He said he's not controlling and possessive anymore. He even talked about, being happy for them being in relationships, how Mariah Carey has been in several relationships since they broke up, and he's cool with them. And because when a man doesn't want you, but he don't want anybody else to have you, that's that good BS right there. That's that good BS. And that's how I know you don't really care for me. I know you really care for me when we're not together anymore, but you still want me to be happy. For me, when he said that, I was like, okay, I can, he's happy. He's happy, he's healed, and he wants the best for these women and not just himself. So, yeah.
Well, the
So
last
that's
thing
it.
that I'll say before we go to the next segment is, and you guys drop into the chat if you guys have any thoughts. If you feel like we're spot on, if we missed the mark, we're definitely open. We're here to learn a lesson as well. So
Yeah,
definitely drop down in the chat. But the last thing that I'll say is that trauma, it speaks, and it speaks very loudly.
yeah,
Even if he did not know the clinical name for this disorder that he has now recently been diagnosed with, trauma
hmm,
speaks loudly, but it is our responsibility, not theirs, our responsibility to listen, because it's
yeah,
speaking. It is absolutely speaking. And not only is it our responsibility to listen, it is then our responsibility to move accordingly. Those
yeah,
actions did not lie. His previous actions did not lie about what was going on to him. And we were, those women and any woman who was dealt with him, you were responsible for ducking and dodging that pretty
that deep.
thing that he clearly has, or at least putting on the condom or requiring him to put on the
It'll get
condom.
you
We
every
are
time.
responsible for listening to to the trauma of those around us and moving accordingly. And we shouldn't ignore the red flags, even if that red flag is attached to a red carpet. And I'll
Now
leave it
that's
there.
a word, friend. That's a word. All right.
So we ready for the next one? Or we got some
We
comments?
are, we are. So do me a favor, leave us a message in the chat, y'all. Let us know that you're still with us. So we just have two more that we're gonna talk about. Come on, friend. We're gonna talk about
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay.
oh, Teresa, Leo, you moved too far to the left, so you gotta move back
Oh,
over, friend.
sorry. Sorry. I didn't start leaning. Got a little too
I
close.
know. My friend was leaning. My friend was leaning.
All
Nick had
right.
my
Sorry.
friend leaning.
All
There
right.
you go.
All right. Now we about to talk
Thank you,
about something.
Teresa. Thank you, baby.
Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, so we are about to start talking about something that is in fact a bit controversial. I mean, all of these things are in pop culture, they're trending topics. One is not more juicy, if you will, than the other, but this one might step on some toes, you know. Hey, uh we are talking about this new phenomenon, if you will, that we see people publicly dating while separated. This is not something that is, people are kind of doing in the background until the paperwork is signed. They're like, listen, I'm dating such and such, and yeah, I just filed for divorce yesterday. I just filed for divorce yesterday, and we've been dating for 5 years. Like, wait, what? What is going on? So let's go ahead and talk about it. So, and I think that this flows in really nicely with the Nick Cannon conversation because he talked about not being healed and moving the way that he moved because he didn't heal from his divorce. So I
Hmm.
think that this flows together nicely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Dating while separated. So right now we are seeing two very high profile examples play out of individuals in the public eye who are dating while they are separated. Clarissa Shields and Papoose. She is an Olympic boxing champ and has been publicly dating rapper Papoose for the last 8 or 9 months, I believe.
Hmm.
They came out publicly December 2024. So we just about to hit October. So about 9 months publicly that we've known that they have been dealing with each other, dating one
Hmm.
another. Let me not qualify it as dealing with each other, dating one another.
Hmm.
However, Papoose Yolante, I don't know if you do this, he only filed for divorce from Remy Ma about 5 months ago in May
Hmm.
of this year. Okay. Then you
Hmm.
have Cardi B and Stefan Diggs, and we all know that last week Cardi B revealed that she is pregnant by her NFL boyfriend Stefan Diggs. However, her divorce from Offset is not finalized. They filed for divorce in July of 2024, so a little
Hmm.
while ago. However, um, the ink still is not dry. And so if you are one that believes that married is still married, she is technically still married. So
Hmm.
why does this matter? Even when the relationship feels like it's over, that doesn't mean that you're completely healed, i.e., the conversation that we just had, right? So this
Hmm.
segment, to be clear, is not about judgment. In my humble opinion, this conversation is about discernment and it is about you not being put in a situation where you bleed on someone that you care about,
Right.
that you not bring someone that you truly care about, you don't invite them into a situation that is still bleeding, that's still festering, that's still unresolved. Because in my opinion, Yolante, that is not what love is. Real love is not reckless like that.
Right.
Real love
Hmm.
protects, it is patient, and it is healed. And we can talk
Hmm.
about the way that some of us even move when we have a cold.
Hmm.
Yolante knows this. If I'm sick, last week I had the flu. You can't come to my house. Why? Not because I don't want to see you. I love my friend. But I'm not about to get you sick. Why? Because I love you. And I know that you got stuff that you need to do. And we're not even, I mean, my friend is cute and all, but we're not even in a romantical relationship.
Mhm. Mhm.
You, when you truly love someone, you're not going to get them sick. You're not going to harm them. And so this conversation isn't so much about judging them and how it is that these very successful people choose to move, but it is
Mhm.
a lesson in true love and how that love shows up and what it puts you uh in front of or exposes you to. That's a better way of saying that. So go ahead, friend. I will let you start off
Um,
with the true lessons.
well, so I didn't even think, it's funny you say that. I didn't honestly even think about it from that perspective. Because I know, everything for me is right now, the whole world for me is either black or white. It's either you're healed or unhealed. And we're all trying to get to a healed space. And so their actions are very much clear that they are unhealed, people, which we all are, walking around. So I don't even know if the ink being dry is really the question. Like, the issue isn't time. The issue isn't that they got a divorce or it's separated, or the issue really is, what have you done in the time past your moving on? Yes, you do need to be divorced. Yes, you do. It needs to be official. But even once you've been officially divorced, in that time,
Yes.
what work have you done to move on? The ink being dry now is relevant, right? We know people who have moved on from their partners, officially divorced from their partners after 2 years, and they haven't done the
Yes.
work. And
Yes.
so they haven't done any self inventory. And so they're still moving on to the next relationship and still bleeding on them, to use your word, to use your words. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's not even about them wanting, because I really have learned with trauma is that a lot of us who are unhealed, we don't want to hurt anybody. Like,
Right.
when somebody hurts you, they are not doing it with the intention of hurting you. But because they are so unhealed in themselves, that this is just how they operate, because they don't know any other way in which to function, you are just going to be a bystander of how they show up in your relationship or in your life, right? So you need to, or we need to be looking at, evaluating our partner's behaviors. We need to be looking at all the dysfunction in relationship, including our own. Like,
Yes.
we are really
Yes.
quick to point out what our partners are doing to us without recognizing how you brought a lot of dysfunction into your relationship. You know what I mean? Because remember, just like that joker been walking around here for 40, 45, 50, 55 years, Pepper, you've been walking around for the same amount of time with your same traumas in this relationship, and you just been projecting and making it seem like you're the victim, when no, you have a lot um of work that you need to do. I actually put together, and I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. Hopefully it's not a problem, child, as long as a Canva. I just dropped it in the link. I've created some questions. I know people, we're at this age right now where we are kind of moving out of our past relationships. A lot of people are getting divorced. And, we are just moving on to the next thing. We've been in relationships with somebody for 20 plus years, and we're just ready to move on to the next thing, but we are not doing the work. And so these are some questions that, I think once you are out of a relationship, that you need to maybe do some journal writing on, or do some self inventory on, because once you're able to start answering these questions, then it's going to open your eyes onto the work that you need to do for yourself. So I don't know. I just really feel like, you know, we got to do the work. Also, another
Yeah.
thing too is, as much as we may not like a Papoose not a Papoose, an Offset right now, and this is going to be controversial. Everything in your relationship, in our past relationships, wasn't all bad. There were some things about, some of our partners have some good qualities. And when you move out of a relationship and get ready to move into another one, you need to be able to acknowledge the good that your partner has. Because if you are just so stuck on the stuff that they did to you and the pain, and you're holding on to the hurt and the pain, you're going to become bitter.
Yeah.
And bitter, when you are bitter, you are not going to attract love. All you're going to be doing is setting yourself up for more disappointment in your next relationship. And I know that's really, really hard for people. So what I want you guys to do me a favor. I know this is gonna sound real crazy. Drop in the chat. Drop one good quality, please, that you learned or you value from your ex-partner. Just one thing. Just one thing. I'm not saying, and don't make anything like, he had a good long stroke. That is not what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about like an actual good quality of your partner. So I'm going to drop mine in the chat. Mine was that my partner, my ex-partner, because he and I are still friends, but I can't play with him. Mine was that he's super disciplined. And at a point in time where I looked at his discipline as it was hindering me from getting all the things that I wanted, I understood him as a person who had a master plan. Like he's a former millionaire, like he's had money before, and he lost some of it in business and he was trying to get back to it. So I understood that I couldn't always get what I wanted from him. So I'll drop that in the chat. I guess my whole point, guys, is to one, do some self-inventory of yourself and acknowledge your roles in the dysfunction of the relationship. But also look at your ex-partner and know that there is something about that person that has some good somewhere deep down in their soul. It's something about them that's not completely the devil. And if you can do that, if you can find one good thing about your partner or your ex-partner, I'm telling you, that's a sign of growth. And that's a sign to God that you are willing to be elevated to the next part of your next story, if that makes sense. Leo said her partner took good care of her. Yeah. And sometimes y'all it just don't be working out. It just don't be working out.
Well, one of the things I will add really quickly to what you just said is if you can't find anything that's good about the partner, I do a lot of self work. I'm not really a person that focuses um on the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I haze my friends and my friends haze me, there's no one that hazes me more than me, right? And so I'm
Right.
a person that does a lot of inner work and I look inside. And so my perspective is if you can't find anything, at least one thing good about that joker, then that means that you picked a person who has no good qualities. So that's a reflection on you as much
Yeah.
as it's a reflection on him. So I will say that. So hopefully you have a good picker, that you pick well, at
Yeah.
least initially, and then we they unveil themselves as the relationship goes on. But hopefully you're a good picker.
Yeah.
That
And
said,
also just looking at back to being not only being a good picker, but and finding that one or two or three good things about that person, but also taking, I think the bigger lesson that I will say from Papoose and Cardi B and all of those is that we've got to start. Mindset is everything. As a man thinketh, he is. And so if I am focusing my whole life on all the negative stuff that happened in that relationship or the negative stuff that just happened in my life in general, all the pain and the hurt, you have to reframe that and look at it as what is the lesson that I can take from this?
yes,
What lesson can grow me from my relationship with Offset? What relationship can grow? What can I grow in my relationship with Remy Ma or whoever? You know what I mean? There is something, some lesson that has to come out of it. And when you can reframe it in that way and that hurt and that pain can actually teach you something, you are literally going to be unstoppable because now you're going to be operating in a positive space and not negative and drawing that nasty negative energy to you.
yeah, I totally agree. That's good, friend. That's good. I would say that what I'll share about this topic in terms of the universal lesson, again, not so much focusing on the individuals that we use as our examples, but our larger lesson, or the larger lesson that I took, Yolante, is that um, every loss, be it
Mm-hmm.
the loss of a relationship, a death, a breakup, even a loss of a job, friend, it comes with the wound. And we
Yes.
can say when we are physically wounded, let's say I'm hit by hit by something, hit by a belt, and it leaves a gash in my
Mm-hmm.
skin. That wound has to be treated. And if it
Yeah.
is not, it becomes infectious. And if
Yeah.
I'm laying up next to somebody, I'm letting them into my space, I'm letting them near me physically, I have the chance of infecting them from a wound that, get this, that they didn't cause. And that is not fair. That's not fair for me. That is not mature of me to do that to someone who I claim that I care about. And I'm very,
Mm-hmm.
very adamant about that.
Mm-hmm.
I am like that in my friendships, and I'm also like that in my intimate relationships. That is not fair. Shame on me if I were to do something like that. And so, because I believe that it causes literally a wound, I kind of wrote down some notes um, about wound care and the
Okay.
fact that you have to go through the process of healing a wound. And the first thing that you have to do is acknowledge that the damn wound is there. You can't heal from something that you don't name. You cannot heal from something that you deny needs healing, right? So you got to name it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to acknowledge the fact that there is, in fact, a wound there. And then you got to your point, and you said it so well, friend, you got to clean the wound. And that hurts. That actually causes pain because you got to go in there and you got to dig out that infection, or you have to go and dig out that thing that is festering inside of that wound. It's
Mm-hmm.
painful. And here's the
Mm-hmm.
thing, and this is, I believe that Nick Cannon uh kind of suggested this in his conversation. It's uncomfortable. It
Yeah.
is painful, and any distraction that you can find in order to not do that, you're gonna find in order to not do that, because it hurts. It's
Absolutely.
uncomfortable to go in there and clean out that wound and get that toxicity out there. And
Mm-hmm.
when we go back to this particular situation, cleaning the wound is what, Yolante, getting a divorce. It is cleaning the environment. You taking out all of the things that need to be removed from that situation. So that means getting a divorce. It means moving out of the house. It might mean getting their stuff out of the house. It may mean cutting off all contact if you can, or if you have children, setting up what the parental parameters are going to be. It is doing the
Mm-hmm.
paperwork and doing the work so that, Yolante, if you love somebody, when you bring them into that environment, it is in fact a clean, non-infectious environment that you are bringing them into. You still
Yeah.
got divorce documents sitting on the refrigerator. But this ain't no clean environment for me to be in. That almost cuss. That girl's stuff still in the drawer. This is not a clean environment. You cannot invite me. Her toothpaste is still hard on the floor. Listen, you got to clean this out if you want Leo to come up in the crib. It has to be a clean environment for me to be in. And yes, it's painful. It is absolutely painful. And we have all been there. Married, divorced, whatever. We have all gone through situations where we've had to extract ourselves or extract
Mm-hmm.
somebody else out of an environment. That shit hurts. It absolutely does. But it is absolutely necessary in order to bring someone else into that environment, especially if you call yourself caring for them. The next
Yeah.
thing that you have to do, Yolante, is treat the wound. And that goes back to what you were talking about. That is the therapy, right? That's the work part, the inner work. Again, the part that Nick Cannon said that he never took any time to do, which is why I thought this was a great segue into. He is the poster child of what not to do. And we see some individuals who are doing that very thing. You're not doing any inner work. You going from one relationship, you jumping from one frying pan into the next without stopping and doing some inner work that is
Mm-hmm.
necessary, and you're using these individuals, unfortunately, and I'm not saying that these people are doing this, because they could very well be in very loving situations. But what I am saying is that sometimes when you need to get quiet,
Mm-hmm.
you really look for a loud distraction, because that
Yeah.
quietness hurts. That quietness is where the true healing comes from. That solitude, when solitude happens, healing happens, but it's
Mm-hmm.
painful. And then the last thing that happens once we do, and again, I'm talking about true, like a true wound on your skin. You have to clean it, you have to treat it. The last thing that you have to do is what? You got to cover it. You got to cover it in
Mm,
prayer. You got to cover it with affirmations. You have to cover that thing so that it not only, Yolante, will scar, but then fresh, clean, new skin will come over it. And you ain't got to look at that scar and say, ah, that was that damn belt that hit me that caused that wound.
mhm,
No, you can't even see it because you treated it you treated it the
mhm.
way that it was supposed to be treated, right? You did all of the work, and now there is no scar left. And not only is there no scar left, that skin is softer, is better than it was before. So that when somebody come and lay their little raggedy head on your shoulder, they ain't got to feel old scarred body again that they didn't cause. So I really am, again, I'm not so much about Cardi B and Stephon Diggs. You know, I don't want to get distracted by that. I don't want to get distracted by Clarissa and Papoose. Listen, again, their
Mhm.
relationships could be fantastic,
Girl,
but
because that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah.
I am adamant that if you care about somebody, that you don't bleed on them and that you
Mhm.
don't infect them by issues, by circumstances that they themselves didn't cause. No, I'm going to separate myself from you. I'm going to go and get myself together. I'm going to go and get this situation together so that when I bring you into my environment, it is clean, it is healthy. I am healthy, I'm clean, I'm not scarred up. I'm ready for a relationship with you because I honor you and I love you. I care about you. I want us to have a clean and fresh start. So that's my
Absolutely.
perspective on that.
Okay, you Trinette talking about come on, preach, because I was showing for the hitter with it. Come on, Pastor. Pastor.
Dun,
Absolutely.
dun, dun, dun.
Absolutely. So do me a favor, guys. So Leo, let me ask you this because I know it's 7:30, so we've been on here a couple of hours. Should we do one more or should we save it? You let me know. Y'all
Let's
let me
get it out
know
the
in
way.
the
I don't
chat.
think this one gonna take a long. It ain't gonna take no long time for me.
All right. So
This one ain't gonna take a long time. And we spent the first 20 minutes trying to get the stuff, the
the seed
dirt.
and right and light. Y'all know. Listen, we gonna get it together.
We
All
are.
right.
We
So the
gonna get
last
it
topic
together.
of the evening is it's a term we all know and love.
We love it.
It's called spinning a block. Uh, we know that there have been, again, to use Leo's words, some high profile celebrities who have recently spun the block. So we have actress and model Eva Marcelle and her attorney husband, Michael Sterling. She filed for divorce from him in 2023,
Mm.
um, deciding irretrievably broken or differences or
Oh,
whatever. And so, and then in 2025, honey, she did a soft launch,
that
showing
baby
signs that they
said, I
had
went and got my
reconciled,
baby
honey.
back. She said, that's my boo. Come
Yeah,
on, Eve.
they were at Essence Fest, and child, she was talking about how she was floating and gang, and all the
Girl,
things. And
come on,
so,
Eve.
she went on to say that he is her forever. That will always be her forever and only. She's posted images of them hugging and all of the things. We do have to note now that their breakup was a hard one.
Yeah.
She went through a lot of physical uh, changes that people made note of, and she talked
Mm.
about the emotional toll of
Okay.
the journey, her healing journey, and all of the things. So that's one relationship. So then we have R&B singer Ashanti and rapper
Uh-oh.
Nelly. These two, they were together in the early 2000s. They first started dating in 2003. They broke up in 2013. And child, we all saw when he tiptoed across that versus stage and went over
That
there and
baby
gave
look,
them
that baby
and
look and
never been
said,
seen,
oh, that's
child.
her. Child, that joker went to running.
Child,
That
child, they
joker
got
didn't
back
tiptoe. He
together.
ran over there.
He did. He ran in what it looked like in the middle of the people set. Go see
Somebody forget what
Ashanti.
y'all doing.
Okay, forget that we on national TV. And in 2020, December of 2023, they rekindled in September, and they quietly got married in December of 2023. And in July of 2024, they welcomed their son together, Kareem Kincaid Hayes. Um, yeah, so they now have a reality show together, and it's kind of showing their lives together, their reconnection, being new parents, balancing their new careers, and quote unquote moving past their hurt. Um, yeah, so okay, and then we have hey Nikisha, then we have Lori Harvey, which she, y'all know that's Steve Harvey's adoptive daughter. She's a model and a socialite and businesswoman. She now it's not official, but she and Damson Idris, who is the very handsome chocolate actor, um, they were seen recently in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico together. A lot of PDA, a lot of heavy, cozy looking, pictures. Now, I will say about their relationship, when they parted ways, they were very amicable about or nice with each other about how they broke up. It seemed to be very amicable. They only had positive things to say about each other and just said it was a matter of not having enough time for each other and being at different places and growth and that sort of thing. So really quick, do me a favor in the chat, drop a blue heart. Drop a blue heart in the chat if you have ever spun the block or if you would ever spun
let
the
me
block.
find my blue heart.
Let me go ahead. I have 100% spun the block.
Let me find my blue heart.
Who am I? Who am I? I'm definitely somebody who has spun the block. So
Hell,
drop a
you
heart
find
in
the
the chat
hearts.
if you have spun the
Where the
block
hell are the
before.
hearts at?
I don't see any hearts. Where the hearts at? Y'all ain't spun the block. Oh, y'all need to
Here
stop
they
it.
go.
I'm not going for
Look,
it.
they all the way down at the bottom of the damn
Yeah, I ain't
emoji.
going for it. Y'all better find them blue hearts. So yeah, friend. Tell me what you think. I will say that I have definitely spun the block, but I will also say this. I will say that one of the trappings, of going back to a partner is about comfort. And for me, it was a comfort trap. I think that gets a lot of us, familiarity. It feels warm and it's safe, and the person and their habits, even the habits that you don't like from that joker. You got so used to dealing with them that you're like, I don't want to do this with somebody else. And so for me, that's what it was. It was just easier. And listen, financial comfort don't hurt either. That, honey, somebody that's paying some bills, that'll get me every time. And so I spun the block from that. But the issue with comfort is that it's not compatibility.
Right.
Comfort and
Absolutely.
compatibility are not the same thing. And no matter how comfortable you are with a person, the issues are going to bubble up and that thing is going to explode and you're going to be stuck there and it's going to be looking crazy. And for me, I can say with my ex-partner that I can't say like I dislike him. I just knew that our relationship wasn't moving anywhere. And so it became very routine and it wasn't exciting and there wasn't anything about it that I know who I am as a person and how I live my life and the excitement that I want to live my life with, I want it in all aspects and areas of my life, and it just wasn't that. And so routine is fine. A good skincare routine is great, right? But routine in relationships is hard because it's not nourishing. And for me, it just got real stagnant, and I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere, and it was time for me to move on. And I still care about him. He's a good guy for the most part. He got a lot of issues, but remember what I posted in the chat? I did my little self inventory and my reflection inventory. There were some things that I needed to work on for myself too, which is why it's super important when you move on from a partner to do those questions. Ask yourself those questions because you gotta look at your role in the dysfunction of the relationship. All right, friend, come on. We got some blue hearts in the chat. My sister is in here. She will have blue heart. Trinette talking about yep. And let's put a bunch of blue hearts. Come on, friend. Tell me, what are your thoughts?
Listen, I think that I have always been the one in America who says I don't have a problem with a double back. I remember when it used to be this big trend of, oh, I don't go back to no nigga. I don't look. Listen, I will always be sitting there like, look around because I don't have a problem with a double back. I have absolutely no problem with it. Now, one thing that I would say is that, with the exception of one relationship that I was in, I've always had very good breakups, right?
Yeah,
I've always
yeah,
still been friends with the guys that I've been in relationship with.
yeah.
Our breakups were very, very amicable, and we're still friends today. They still take care of me. They still care about me. If I needed something today, I could get on the phone right now, and uh, it would be handled without
Hmm.
hesitation.
Hmm.
So, with that said, I have personally never had an issue with spinning the block. I do think
Hmm.
that it has to be healthy. I've never been in a domestic issue situation with someone where it was violent. There was some trauma. In any of those situations, you absolutely not. But because that was not my um issue, I have not had an issue with spinning a block. Yeah, it might be my favorite thing, but I'm
Oh
just kidding.
my God.
I'm just
I don't know
messing.
if it's my favorite
Right.
thing. It's comfortable, but I don't know about my
No,
favorite
no,
favorite.
no. I'm just kidding. But I have always been one where, again, even when it was trendy to say, "Oh no, I don't look back at no dude," I never was one to do that because I'm not about to eat my words. That is absolutely not my truth. Um, I think that the larger conversation for me is um that you should not burn bridges that you may one day want to go back across.
Hmm.
And that is in old friendships, that is in old career opportunities that you passed on or you felt rejected by, and you may want to reapply for. Old friendships that fell off, but you never said anything harmful towards that person or about your past relationship or friendship. Even your creative passions, you move on from them, but you may want to revisit them. I just think that it is very, very important that you not necessarily burn those bridges and talk reckless about a situation or circumstances, particularly somebody who you were in relationship with, in an intimate relationship with, and there is this opportunity to go back because you could completely close the door to something that simply needed time to
Yeah,
resurrect. So
absolutely.
I am really good about that. And I will say that for the most part, you're not going to ever hear me say anything negative about my exes. I just am not one to do that, mainly because, in my opinion, when you talk about your exes, you're talking about yourself and your own judgment as well. So,
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
again, I'm a person that does inner
Hmm.
work. I do a lot of self talk. And so, me talking about how raggedy that person is just simply says you were in a relationship with a raggedy person. Well, I mean, what does that say about you? So, listen, I'm not talking about me. I'm not going to talk about myself like that. So, nope, they were great because I'm
Right. They're perfect. I don't know what you mean.
perfect.
They're great.
You're
No, that
perfect.
I love that. And
So
you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry,
I
friend.
was gonna
Yeah,
say, so that's always kind of been my rule of thumb anyway.
yeah.
Um, in most of my relationships, friendships, opportunities, I ain't really doing a whole lot of talking because, again, I might double back because I might double back.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's so funny. I will never forget my mom. And my mom is not a woman of too many words. But I remember one of my exes, and I was going off, and I was so upset. And she was like, "Come here, let me tell you something." She was like,
Now she said,
"Stop
"Come here,
talking
come here,
about
come
him."
here." Hmm.
She was like, "Stop talking about him." And she said, "Because if you go back to him, because my thing was going off and telling her, she said, you don't do that." She said, "Because if you go back to him, now you have tainted the view of him with us, your family, and now we looking at him crazy, and now you don't went back to this joker." And I will
Hmm.
never
Come
forget that
on,
when my mom
Sally,
said it.
darling.
Yeah, because she said now we looking at him crazy, and
Okay.
she knows women, and men. She knows you gonna go back to that joker, that same one you in there talking hella trash about. Like, we not doing it. I don't need it. And so yeah, we know spinning the block is listen. There's nothing for me wrong with spinning the block. The issue is, and we all know, is when you go back. Has there been some growth
Some work. Mm-hmm.
from you and from them?
Yeah.
Right? Don't be just talking about has he grown. What about you? Have you done the work? Or are you going back because you fear being alone? Y'all know, especially at this age with child, we don't want to start over. Y'all know they say it's pissed in the pool, the dating pool and all these other things that people say. And, I just am a firm believer that that's never going to be a question for me. Like, I don't operate in a space of fear, especially when it comes to my, attraction and my magnetism. I'm not worried about that. And I think if more people, including women, operated from that, it would really be, we wouldn't have to worry about it. So I'll go ahead and share just from a femininity perspective. Remember, guys, femininity thrives in being open and receptive. So we automatically kind of have this openness and nurturing way about us that, we entertain somebody when they want to come back and say they miss us and they love us and all the things. But we have to just make sure that, is it coming with, are we receiving better treatment? Or are we just recycling old stagnant wounds and foolishness and traumas and all the things? Also, we got to make sure that, in our femininity, we can be soft. And so in that softness, we tend to be more forgiving and graceful than our masculine counterparts. And so we are that's why they always coming back. Men don't really, I don't know if they take women back the way that we take them back, I guess is my question. That's a question I think we're going to have to ask of the fellas.
That's good.
Because, for them, if they moved on from you, there clearly has to be a reason for that. It's usually eye behinds. And so we just got to make sure that even though we're extending grace, we're still keeping boundaries. That's a big problem. I think sometimes that we as women, when we're operating in our softness and femininity and all the things, we forget them boundaries. And you cannot. You got to keep those boundaries together. Just make sure that you're healed. Especially, I don't know, when we break up with somebody, we start leveling up. You got to be careful with that, because when you start leveling up, that increases your magnetism. That increases your, that attraction. And them jokers see you. They see you glowing up. They see your skin looking moisturized. And I swear, that was a big issue I think I took with Nelly and Ashanti. And I'm not hating on their before they got married and had the baby. But I'm not gonna lie, I was a little salty because we just saw how good Ashanti looked. She was living her best life. She's like this little glowy goddess. She was always traveling. We didn't know about her personal life. We didn't know anything. We just saw Ashanti looking hella good. And then I was like, girl, why? I ain't gonna lie. I was like, girl, make him stay. Make him eat his words. Because I don't want him to get you. I don't want him to taint all that, that glow up you did. So hopefully, that they are working on their healing together. And and they were apart for so long. I can't imagine it was out of a place of she's desperate. You know what I mean? Hopefully it was a place where when he came back to her, it was about him growing and wanting to do the right thing. Although he does some questionable stuff. I haven't seen the show, but I've seen clips. He does some questionable stuff on that show. But we're all human. We all make mistakes. And this whole journey is a growing journey, and really just being confident. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to just make sure that when we do go back to that joker, we got to make sure we're doing it with clarity. We're not going in there confused and out of fear. As long as you do those things, I think we'll be okay. So that's just my 2 cents on it, friend.
I agree with, pretty much everything that you said. I can't chime in on the show and some of the clips that you may have seen. I haven't seen anything from the show. I remember you mentioning some of the stuff, but I haven't watched the show at all.
Yeah.
So, I don't know anything specific that I could note would be a red flag specific to them. And again, I like the perspective that you and I like to take on things, which is again, eat the meat and leave the bones. And what's the lesson? And I think that the general lesson that I had from him tiptoeing over in the middle of a whole performance was not allowing your ego to keep you from something that you want.
True.
I think that ego has ruined more reconciliations than the actual wrongdoing.
Yeah.
And so the thing that I really liked is one, it was him going and not her.
Oh God.
But
Yes.
most importantly, because also he was the one who messed up, right? If
Yeah.
we look at the what was the allegations, now whether or not it's true or not, the allegations was that he was the one that messed up 10 years ago,
Mhm.
in the relationship coming to an end. So the fact that
Yeah.
he took his butt over there to her, I think
For sure.
was really a wonderful lesson that I think that we can all take. And that's in, again, in anything, that's in career, that is in friendships, that is in uh, your faith walk, that if you want to go back to something, you want to reconcile a friendship, you want to reconcile a relationship, I know that ego stands in the way of that blessing a lot. And well, I ain't gonna call, I'm not gonna apologize, and you wind up missing the blessings. And not, and when I say the blessings, your blessings are in some instances tied to other people. And particularly with men,
Yeah.
your blessing or your curse, but your blessing oftentimes is tied to who you are connected with, because your wife is going
Absolutely.
to birth those blessings. She is going to be the one that you're going to give her those ideas, and she's going to birth it out for you. She's going to, as Yolante talked about earlier, she's going to be the one that incubates that thing and nurtures that thing and gives it back to you. We are the ones that create. And so a lot of our blessings have been harmed and hindered and stop because of our ego not allowing us to be tied to the individuals that we're supposed to be tied to. And so I'm
Hmm.
not about to do that. I don't, again, I don't have a problem with, I'm one of the first to apologize. Now I have to have room to do that. I have to have an opportunity to do that. One of the things that you'll hear me say, is particularly when it comes to friendship, is be as good of a friend as you're allowed to be. So if you're not allowed to be a good friend, if you're not, that door is not open for you to reconcile, then I don't believe in being in a place where you're not welcome. I totally
Yeah.
don't believe in that. But I also don't believe in allowing ego to keep you from reconciliation of any relationship, be it intimate, career, co-worker, your faith walk, any of those things. I'm not about to
Hmm.
let you miss my blessings. Nope, I'm gonna be right up under you because my blessing tied to you. So here I go. So
That part.
here,
That part.
here I am,
Absolutely.
freckles and all, big old
Hmm.
earrings, and it's a perfume. Here I go.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. So, yeah, just make sure, the big thing is
Yes.
reflecting and discernment. That's super
And
important.
safety. The big
Um,
thing in that is also safety. You got to be safe. Now, again, don't
oh
listen to
yeah.
us and not and put yourself in an unsafe environment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, just ask yourself, that time apart, and me looking back now on Nelly and Ashanti, as much as I was saying that, I mean, hello, it's been 10 years. So he is definitely not the same man he was, when he made his mistakes. So hopefully he has grown as an individual, which is the key, for you if you're going to go back. Make sure you both have grown individually. Did y'all resolve, the reasons why y'all broke up in the first place, or is that stuff still buried? And then you, as a person, if you are harboring any ill towards that person, don't take them back. If you're still holding on
Yeah.
to that thing, you
Yeah.
got to let that
Don't
thing
punish
go.
him.
Because
Definitely don't
do
punish him.
not punish them. And if you know that you are still going to punish that person when they come back, then go on and let them go. Because there's no good that's going to come out of that. And you are
Absolutely.
everything we do. We're going to reap always what we sow.
Absolutely.
Um.
That's
So
very
yeah,
good. That's very good,
yeah,
friend.
that was a word. Yes, thank you, friend.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
don't do the right thing now. Going on. Hey, Roxy, my best friend just joined us. Look, we about to get off though, friend. We love you though, girl.
Yeah.
So, Leo, do you want to share? Remember,
Friend,
you were
this
going to
was
share
a
something with the
good,
people.
say it again.
Remember, they were asking something. I can't
Oh,
remember what it was.
yes.
Oh, it was about the skin, the black-owned
Yes.
business.
Yes. But before I do, friend, I want to say thank you for the conversation. This was a good conversation. This is something that was a
Yes,
little different than what we've done before. You know, we
yes,
always are going to talk about our favorite fragrances, our glow up products that we love, our
yes,
those essentials. We're going to always talk about um, skincare products, all of those things.
yeah.
But this was a different conversation because
Hmm.
both of us really enjoyed the Keisha Kayor conversation that we had,
Oh,
the
that was so
lessons that we
good.
shared. Yeah, I really enjoyed that conversation. And it sounded like the individuals that are becoming our little family, our little audience here enjoyed it as well. And so we wanted to just take the leap to have that
Yeah.
type of conversation with a number of other hot topics. So put it in the chat and let us know if this is something
Hmm.
that you all enjoy. Did this fit your vibe? And would you all like to see more of this? Are we going down the right path, or is this something? That we don't necessarily need to focus on. I think that we'd love to hear some feedback from you guys, even if you're a part of the replay game. Let us know what your thoughts are. So, Yolante was talking about my glow earlier, and I told you all,
Hmm.
if you all interact with us, that I was going to share with you all the product. And so here is the product right here. It is the Body Glaze, and it's by Dion Libra. And like I said, the
Oh,
business is it's a black owned business. They are going out of business. Unfortunately, they say that they're taking a pause because of the tariffs and them having to get the ingredients for the product. But when I tell you, okay, so I'm gonna put this on my hand, just a little bit on my
mm-hmm.
hand right here.
Hmm.
Girl, and it's not wet. You think that this is wet, this is going on like lotion, but you see that glaze? Listen, Leo don't gatekeep, but I also know what I'm doing, okay?
Okay. I need that. I
I
need that.
also know what I'm doing. Listen, when I tell y'all about a product, I
Oh,
know I don't just be playing
yes.
with y'all. Y'all see that glow? This is the real deal. When I tell you, I'm
I'm
not
telling you,
kidding.
that's so good.
Yeah, this is the real deal. This is what my hand looked like. And it ain't ashy, but this glaze is a real body glaze. And it's
Oh my
not wet. My
God.
hand is not wet. It is truly just lotion, but it's the glaze that they have in it. Listen, your
Oh,
friend
that's good.
Leo, come with me. I'm gonna take you some places, friend. Me, Yolante, we're gonna share. That's one thing I love about us. I love that about us. We're gonna put you on.
So listen, so Leo, so if you kind of came in, because we had some people kind of coming in and out. So Leo is gonna have you glazing, and I'm gonna have you looking like a disco ball. So remember, I shared what I had on last night at my diva dinner dates. So child, I'm gonna combine that glaze and this
Oh
silver
my
body
goodness, you gonna be like a whole ball
girl.
of lightning.
They'll be mad. And guess what? I'm wearing it on test day. So all the kids don't pay attention. I'm
Not
walking
to
down
distract
aisles.
from the
I'm walking
babies.
down all the aisles so that they can pay attention, baby. Y'all, me and Leo got the formula. Y'all better keep up. Y'all better keep up.
Please keep up,
So
because
this is
here's the thing: don't nobody want to be shining by
NYC.
themselves.
There's silver hair and body glitter. Actually, let me put it in the chat because my sister is on here. She used to get on me because I was not updating all the
It's
stuff that
out
I
of
was sharing
stock.
with you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in the chat. This is in my Amazon store. So if you are interested in it, it's super inexpensive. Um, Let me put that in there now because I will forget. And guys, if you ever have any questions about anything, especially if I say I'm going to share it and I forget, just tell me. Just let me know. I've actually had some of Leo's friends reach out to me in my DMs. I just gave somebody a skincare regimen yesterday. So just let me know. I will share my secrets with you. It's just a lot of times it's just a matter of me forgetting the day of. So I will definitely just DM me anything you want to know and I will share any of that with you. Let me put it in here now, child, while I'm running my
Okay, so
mouth.
they're saying that it's out of stock, the Dion Libra
Oh
It's
no.
out of stock. But let me tell you why. Like I said from the very beginning, they were going out of business because, or going on a pause. So what I would suggest you all do is to get on their mailing list, because I do believe that they're going to bring this product back. It may be a year from now or two, but I believe that they are going to bring this product back because it was very, very popular. Now you'll see that it was $52. It was expensive. When I got it though, I got it on sale. So I always am gonna tell you all about the sales, and I think I got it
Mm.
for like 30% off. That said, when they were going out of business, they notified everybody and it was half off. They were just pretty much giving it away. So that may be why it's out of stock. But I would suggest you all getting on the mailing list, because I do believe that it will send me a quarter, please. Oh, absolutely. I'm good about giving out some samples, baby. You absolutely sure. Because listen, I think you all saw a little glimpse of my bathroom. I have two of these. You can
She,
absolutely have a sample. Listen, when I
I
love
love
something,
it.
I stock up. So this is not the only bottle of this I have. It's
I
another
love it.
bottle.
I love it. And it's a
So
pretty
of
bottle.
course
We love it.
you can have the sample, sis. But
I
get on their
love
mailing
it.
list. I'm sorry that they are out of stock.
Yeah, I need to go on there and take a look for myself. And I can also try to go look and see if we can find something comparable. It's not gonna make us glowy like my goddess on here, but at this point, just spray that little, spray the little Eva NYC on top of, on top of your little body glow, and then we'll make it do what it do. So, all
Okay,
right, my
so I'm
love.
on their
So,
I am on their Instagram. Yes, sign up because they're gonna come back. They're going to come
okay,
back with this product again. It might not be immediately, but their Instagram is still active, and they're talking about a future test group.
okay, good, 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 good.
Mhm.
Listen, if enough of us get on there, then yeah, that'll be good. All right. So the thing that I talked about, guys, I just put it in the chat. Let me share it again. This is just a body spray. It's just glittery. It's real pretty. It's subtle. Um, it's one of those things where the light will hit you, and if you're like in a restaurant or somewhere like that, the light will hit you, and you will be glowing like a little goddess. So,
Oh, Lord have mercy. Look, I'm on their Instagram. They were selling this for $20. That's why it's out of stock. It was
how much you
52.
pay for it, friend?
Well, it was 52. I didn't pay 52. I got it on sale, but I didn't get it for $20. I
That's
did
why
that.
it's going.
That's why it's out of stock.
I love it. All right, my love. So we are going to get out of here. Listen, please, guys, let us know in the chat. You guys know you can DM me. You guys know you have my number. Message Leo. Let us know what you guys want to talk about. I'm already trying to get Leo to talk about Beauty and Black. I don't know, even if we just giggle on it for just a little bit, I think
Okay,
it'll
I'm gonna
be
watch it.
interesting. Because I just
Even
want to hear Leo's opinion on it. It's
even though you
y'all.
didn't give me any idea
I
of the
don't have
clip
nothing to give
note.
you other than
Oh
foolishness.
my
And
gosh.
girl, it literally says in the credits, produced, written, directed by Tyler Perry. So that's all you need to know. And you can tell. Because,
What?
sir, you
Not
need to
you
let
can
somebody
tell.
else do some. And I'm not even saying he's a bad writer, but I'm saying, sir, let somebody else do some of that work because there's too much going on in this show right now. It's just a lot going on. So, but
Okay.
I can't stop watching it. It's like a train wreck, and I can't stop watching it. So,
Okay. Well, I guess I
yeah.
gotta watch it. And then, friend, we did say we have been noticing, and then we'll definitely let you guys go. We have been noticing this other trend that is happening with
Mhm.
younger women talking about issues with PCOS, issues with their health, needing to get their health together in ways that they never thought of, that they thought that some of the issues in terms of fibroids and those types of
Mhm.
issues would be issues that they would deal with when they got older. And we're finding that younger women are dealing with these issues much earlier. And so we did say that we wanted to have a conversation about supplements, and the supplements that you can start taking early on in your woman journey,
Mm-hmm.
as well as supplements that you need to be taking as you age and you start to reach the age of menopause or premenopause and those types of things. So let us know if that is a conversation that you would like for us to have. As you know, I feel like I'm the supplement queen. I take probably about 10 or 15 different supplements in the forms of tinctures, pills, and teas. You all know, some of you all know my own health journey. And so, yeah, we got to get on this healing journey. So we didn't add
Yeah.
that tonight, but we did talk about that perhaps being another conversation that we would bring to you guys. So let us know.
Yeah.
We want to hear
So
from
let
you
us
all.
know. You guys have to let us know for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Y'all know it's about the whole woman, especially with us being in the second act. We just want to share the journey that Leo and I are on and the personal conversations we have. It's not fair for us not to have those conversations with y'all because it's just too juicy, it's too good. And we laugh and kiki, and we just want to make sure you guys are being a part of that. So that's really what it's about. So. All right, my love. So I think I want to say, like with Leo, thank you so much, friend, for joining me tonight. Thank you guys for sticking in there with us, and we love you. And we should be back next week. But we always honor our bodies and our need for rest if we need it. So you guys know I usually let you know in the middle of the week, but definitely stay tuned. Let us know what you want to see, and then we're gonna definitely be back to play with y'all real soon. And definitely please share the replay also. Share the replay with your people. So all right, friend, love you. Bye
Love
guys.
you.
My most memorable day was in college. And so, in college, honey, ain't nobody got no money. If you know anything about Florida State, FAMU, and Tallahassee, y'all know what dating a local looks like. And so I was dating a local. But Valentine's Day came around, and he knew that I wanted a really special Valentine's Day. Now, mind you, this ninja didn't have no money, and he was like a thug. I remember we Valentine's Day came around, and we went to like a hibachi spot, but he came in with all of these gifts for me to the point that I remember one of the men at the hibachi place was like, dang, he must really love her. I mean, he had literally bags and bags of stuff. Do y'all know I found out that this ninja stole all of these gifts? He stole all of these gifts from me from the store. And so I'm like, oh my God, he is so ghetto. And we still was together for a very long time because I was very young and dumb. So my whole point is this. If I have a man who is willing to go to jail for me to have a special Valentine's Day, then sure, I don't want your low effort coffee date. I will, however, take a ninja who is willing to rob a bank for me. And that is the moral of my story. And I'm going to end it on that note, please. And thank you.